Damn, Diddy. Hey, what up there, Forward Up Newsies? By now you've already heard that business mogul and music artist Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, and now I guess aka inmate 1753X2PQ1. I don't know. I don't like Diddy in jail, y'all. He in jail. Diddy's in jail. Yeah, and so by now you probably already heard that, for a litany of charges, ranging from sex trafficking to racketeering, um, drugs, guns, all kinds of stuff, which is just sort of like makes you wonder, when you already have this much money, power, and respect in an industry like the music industry, what do you need to make side money for trafficking people, human trafficking people? Like I don't. People just like power, I guess. But I'm not going to get into all those details. There are definitely some other channels you should really probably check out to get a lot of those details. I'm not really going to focus on that in this video. What I kind of want to talk about is how we got here, right? And I think the genesis of this is really interesting. So in 2022, and in fact on May 24th, 2022, New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed into law the Adult Survivors Act. The Adult Survivors Act basically it is a law, or was a law because it's no longer in effect now, but it was a law that offered a 1-year window for the adult survivors of sexual abuse and violence to reopen their cases and to file civil suits, no matter when the abuse occurred. So when we talk about sexual violence, sexual offenses that are egregiously heinous, thinking of Law and Order SVU. But when we think about these sexual violence cases, there's statute of limitations, which to me has never quite made any sense. I feel like there's not a statute of limitations on murder, but for some reason there's statute of limitations on sexual abuse, sexual assault. I feel like men came up with that because men are the primary perpetrators of sexual violence. But listen, I'm not getting into all that. But anyway, when Kathy Hochul signed in the Adult Survivors Act, it gave a 1-year window for people who were survivors of sexual abuse, who are now over the age of 18, to go ahead and sue their alleged abusers, no matter when, like I said, that abuse occurred. When Governor Hochul did that, it opened up the possibility for lawsuits for a bunch of people. Now, some people say that it was done as a way to sort of get Trump, because Trump kind of got snared in this as well. I don't know if that was the reason. I don't know if that's just a conspiracy theory. What I do know is he deserved for that to come back on his ass. He deserved for that to come back on him. But anyway, E. Jean Kelly had sued Trump for sexual abuse, and he was eventually found liable for sexual abuse, and his victim, E. Jean Carroll, was awarded $5 million for her suffering. Now, I don't think E. Jean Carroll has gotten a cent from him yet. I don't think E. Jean Carroll has gotten a cent from him yet, and I don't, we don't know if he will, if she will. But this was from a case that an incident that apparently happened in 1996, and you can read up on the details of that case as well. But that also allowed cases against other folks to sort of come through, including people like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, and now, of course, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him. And so when that happened, R&B, when that happened, R&B singer, R&B and pop singer Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy earlier, or later, towards the end of the window for that law before it expired. And when that happened, Cassie told her, filed a lawsuit. My understanding of that case, though, was that, my understanding was that, she went to Diddy for a settlement. Diddy didn't want to give that settlement. And so she said, fine, boop, I'm a sue. And it was all downhill from Diddy from there. And what I think is so interesting is that what we see here is releasing, or at least even if it's just temporarily doing away with statute of limitations for sex crimes. I think like we see the benefits of that, right? Because let's face it, when you're the victim of sexual abuse, whether you're a child or an adult, it is incredibly painful and hard to talk about that, to bring that up, to discuss that, and definitely like filing charges, especially when it's difficult. It's a lot, and I think a lot of perpetrators might rely on the fact that that's a hard thing to for people to acknowledge or to report. And having these statutes of limitations really just helps that abuser or alleged abuser do whatever it is that they're doing, and then to keep repeating those crimes and hurting more people, and abusing more people. So, in my personal opinion, I'm wondering why do we have these statute of limitations at all? It makes no sense. But now Diddy is he's been denied bail. The judge saw him as a potential flight risk, which makes sense. I mean, the guy's a millionaire. I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. They be throwing out these billionaire titles like crazy. I'm just like, what? But anyway, he has all the resources to skip town. At this point, I'm sure him he and other folks, they know what countries do and don't offer extradition. So yeah, it's best that probably is best, or at least from the judge's perspective, best that Diddy stay behind bars right now. And considering all the charges that are against him, and the fact that he was charged by the Southern District of New York, which has a 99 a 99% conviction rate. Diddy's last day of freedom might have been on Monday. Because he might not be getting out ever, except to be transferred to like a bona fide from jail to a prison. Because you go from, I think it was like a year or more. If it's anything over a year, you go to prison. If it's under a year, you go to jail. Don't quote me, but I think that's how it works. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see that somebody who was so admired and so like up there, uh, was doing this with allegedly, sex trafficking, sexual assault, and all these things. Kind of, when you look at the charges, it kind of reminds you of like R. Kelly, because I think those were some of his charges as well. Like when it comes to trafficking and things like that, the whole thing is just bananas. It's beyond unfortunate. And now, they're apparently folks are wondering, like when's the other shoe to drop? Who else is gonna get caught up in some of this? Is this finally like the reckoning, the music industry, not just hip hop, but all of the music industry? Is this gonna be the reckoning that has been needed for so very long? Because let's face it, sexual abuse, particularly, but not exclusively to women, especially young singers, has been going on for a long time. It's just as gritty and grimy. In some ways, maybe even more so than the movie industry. So it's a long past. It's about time that this stuff started coming out. But yeah, what's the other shoe going to be to drop? There's already been reports. I don't want to say names because I don't want to attach wrongly attach people, connect people that may have absolutely nothing to do with this. But there's already been at least one high profile music executive, who has offered their resignation at their label. And the only reason I don't want to put that in this video, because we don't know if the two things are connected, and I don't want to wrongly like imply that is the case. But people are asking, are we going to see other executives sort of fall from this? Are we going to see other music acts come out? Are we going to see other music acts, like executives and stuff, and even artists topple from this, right? Because there's even like in Dawn Richard's lawsuit against Diddy, she, for example, talks about an incident where Diddy punched Cassie in the stomach, and Usher was there. I think Snoop Dogg was there. Jimmy Iovine, music executive legend Jimmy Iovine was there, and Neo was there, and nobody said or did anything. So there's going to be a lot of, or could there be a lot of, folks getting caught up in this as a result of this case? Who knows? We're going to have to pay attention, stay tuned to see. But yeah, so that's kind of, I think was the sort of the genesis of this coming down was this Adult Survivors Act. So kudos to Governor Kathy Hochul of New York. Now, mind you, Governor Hochul be on some BS, so but I'm gonna give her flowers in this instance, um, for this, because without her and the New York legislature passing that law, the Adult Survivors Act, um, Diddy might still be out here abusing people. Um, so, thank you to her and to the New York legislature for doing that. So now back to like what you can do, right? Because one of the things about this channel is we are big on, you know, saying we don't want to just give you the news. We want to tell you what you can do about it, right? And we've talked about this before in a previous story, about Diddy and these, back then, the lawsuit and the allegations. Now we're in full blown going to be like a trial. He's pleaded not guilty, by the way. Just have to put that out there. But yeah, let's talk about something you can do, right? So if you or someone is currently or has been the victim of sexual violence, a good organization you can reach out to is RAINN. RAINN is the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Um, and basically it's a 24/7 hotline. Or yeah, RAINN is a 24/7 hotline, that victims of sexual abuse can contact. So if you or someone are experiencing that, you can call them at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-HOPE. So we see it right here. Or they even have like a chat feature that you can use. So like, let's say you're not in a place where you can speak. You can go to the chat feature. You can go chat and type it out there, and there will be somebody behind that, on the other side on another screen somewhere, that can help you out, right? And just so you see this here in the terms. It says during your session, we will not ask for information that would identify you, such as your name and address. So they will not ask for that. They will not record the chat, so you don't have to worry about that either. However, if you disclose your name and location and are under 18, or if the RAINN professional on the other end fears that you are in danger of self-harm, or otherwise required by law, I guess, and then they may have to provide that information to the appropriate authorities. But if you need the help, contact RAINN. These are trained support specialists that you can contact. To get to RAINN, all you got to do is go to rainn.org. That is RAINN, so two N's, RAINN.org. Okay. And again, if you need help, you can call them at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. All right, y'all. And then also, if you want to donate to RAINN, you can, because it's been 30 years since they first opened their first call that they took. And if you want to donate to RAINN, just go to give.rainn.org, or you can just go to their website, click the big donate button, and yeah, help keep them afloat. All right, newsies, thanks so much for checking in with me for this story. And yeah, again, if you need help, you can go out there and reach it, or contact RAINN or anyone else. Until next time, we're going to keep an eye on this story with Diddy. But until next time, feel free to share, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We're trying to grow the channel, and we really would appreciate it. So yeah, don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. What do you guys think about this case? Do you think Diddy is guilty of what he is being accused of? Do you think justice will be served? And do you think that anyone he allegedly trafficked people to or otherwise harmed, do you think any of them will be brought to justice? Because we saw with the Epstein case, before he quote unquote allegedly exited himself, that his partner Ghislaine Maxwell so far has been the only one charged and tried and convicted, but somehow none of the men she allegedly trafficked those young girls to have been brought in before a judge. So yeah, do we think that, will it just be Diddy, or will other people finally come down into this as well, like should have been happening with the Epstein case? Who knows? Let us know down below in the comments. All right, now until then,